Wherever you are in the world, good day, good people, good day, and welcome to WOW, which only will live television broadcast, where I am your host, Siobhan Gross, marriage and family therapist, inspirational coach, and motivational speaker. Listen, guys, you know it is Wednesday, and you know what we do on Wednesdays? We come to WOW, and by WOW, I mean to wish only well all across the world. My special guest and I, we are ready to wow you on today. I am so excited about my very special guest that's already in the studio, and she is getting ready to come out here and wow you with words of encouragement, words of wisdom. So, before I bring her on, you know how we do it, guys. We got to do her justice by actually introducing her. And so, let me tell you who my very special guest is on today. It is none other than Mrs. Brandy Woods Smith. Brandy Woods-Smith is a charismatic and passionate educator, entrepreneur, speaker, and consultant. She is known as a thought leader, change agent, community developer, and to many, she is held the millionaire midwife. Mrs. Woods Smith attended Jarvis Christian College in East Texas. She finished her master's in education administration in 2005. After serving the public school system for 13 years, Mrs. Woods Smith opened Imagine Me Academy in 2013 and now has multiple locations. Just wow, just wow. In her quest to help others, aspiring entrepreneurs, in her quest to help other aspiring entrepreneurs achieve success, she founded Powerhouse United Childcare Millionaires, business incubators designed to give education, resources, and teaching financial literacy to entrepreneurs. Believe big, expect big, do big is the mantra she lives by. Wood Smith says, although big is not the most eloquent word, it gets the vision across clearly. With belief in my heart, the work of my hands, and the words in my mouth, I will accomplish what I am commissioned to do: motivate, educate, and produce. That sounds like a wow, a winning only woman for sure. And so, without further ado, let's bring up and welcome to the platform none other than Ms. Brandy Smith Woods. Hello, hello. How are you? I can't hear you. Can you hear me, Brandy?
I can. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Listen, I am so excited about you coming onto this platform. And let me just go ahead on and get that thanks out of the way. How much I just really appreciate you coming on and being a guest, here on Wild Wish Only Well Television. It's all about encouraging, inspiring, and motivating people to be the best version of themselves. And so I was excited that you accepted the invitation to come on because we're celebrating Women's History Month. And so,
Absolutely.
so I'm so excited to have you. So listen, we're just gonna have conversation. We're gonna go right ahead and just kind of get that thing started. Listen, I love your mantra, right? I mean, it's all about doing it big. Tell us about that. Tell us about your
Yeah,
mantra.
and I love that wish only well because my grandmother said if you don't got nothing nice to say, just keep your mouth closed. Don't say
That's
nothing
what
at all. So if you don't
exactly.
have a blessing out there, please don't curse. I really I appreciate God for the gifts that He gave me. And for a long time, I hid those gifts. And so when I think about the bigness of God in me, it causes me to say, you know what, I can show up bigger and I don't have to shrink in order to make other people uncomfortable. But it took me a long time to feel comfortable in this skin. And many people don't believe that, but it's the absolute truth. So one of my biggest loves in the world, because I own the schools and they
Mhm.
they financially fuel my family and take care of us. But when I talk to women entrepreneurs and I know I'm changing the economic landscape of a whole generation, when I am empowering people to do better, to employ other people, to stand out in their community, to let this little light of mine shine, it brings me so much joy.
Yeah. And it shows, it absolutely shows. Every time I've been in your presence, I just experience that energy. I mean, you have really big energy. So how do you like go? Like what do you say to yourself when you get up in the morning? Because I mean, like that energy is contagious. I mean, there's no way that I can, and I can't imagine anybody being able to be in your presence and not feel that energy and just not want to be happy, right? So
Well, that's how I got my husband. So y'all, this is a good story for you ladies who are in waiting. I wasn't in waiting, no girl. I was out there dating.
tell it.
And when I met him, I was on the phone and I was talking to another gentleman. Excuse me, but that's what I was doing. And he says to me, I'm on the phone, I'm in the store. And he says to me, anybody that happy, I need to know them. And I was like, listen, long as you can keep me happy, we can do this. But
Wow.
really, this energy is a choice. Because the truth of the matter is, I have problems just like everyone else.
Right.
People disappoint me. People don't show up. Sometimes I disappoint myself, or things just don't go the way we plan. But I truly believe that we are able to control our environment by our mindset, our thoughts, and our expectations. And I always decide in the moment, I can choose to be frustrated. I can choose to be sad, but all that's going to do for me is take away the energy I need to do the things that I need to do. So instead, I choose to be encouraged, right? I choose to use affirmations. I know that there are facts that are happening, right? I know that sometimes it's a hard day. That's a fact. But the truth is, everything is working out for my good. So this hard day is going to be okay. It's not the rest of my life. And so I really choose not to deal with facts and to deal with the truth. And the truth is, I've already overcome everything that's coming to me to distract me. So why should I be sad? Why should I be worried? That's how I live my life.
Wow, that is just so awesome right there. I mean, you've already given us words of wisdom already before I usually ask that, my guests do that at the end, but this is so awesome. And I knew that it would be that way because as I told you, I shared with you, like, man, your story is just so awesome. So, I invite you to this platform to share as much or as little as you can about your story because it's so encouraging. Not only do you bring that energy into wherever you are, but it's that step, your walk. You have an air of confidence, like about you, right?
I guess, I didn't have that growing up. I don't know if anybody is watching where you're just different. I was always peculiar, almost like an ugly duckling situation. Like it took me a while to mature, and it also took me a while to just be comfortable, like being authentically me and not having to apologize. And so now that I found my voice, because I didn't have my voice for a long time, and that's my book behind me, The Millionaire Midwife. If you really read that book and you know my story, for about 10 years I lost my voice. And so in losing that voice, when I found it, I was like, I'm keeping it. And I'm not letting it go.
Yes.
What? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my voice, and I'm going to use my voice to inspire others.
That is just amazing. So amazing just to hear. And I know you pointed out about, your book, The Millionaire Midwife. And, I used that as I introduced you before coming onto the platform. So tell us as much as you can about The Millionaire Midwife without giving, all of the nuggets, all of the secrets that's in there, right?
So absolutely. People always ask me, so were you in the health field? I mean, when you think of midwife, you think of that. I say, no, I'm birthing millionaires. We're pushing out millionaires.
I love it.
And so that's where it came from. So if you back forth in my life, like go back 15 years, I had experienced a really traumatic point in my life. And I actually found myself sleeping in my car. And I had to kind of make a decision on that day. Like, so what are we going to do? You got a baby in the back seat and a baby in the belly. What are you going to do with yourself? You need to make some decisions because, people lie to you. Now, I don't know if they've ever lied to you, but this is the lie that I took.
Just as sure as I'm sitting here. Right. They
It's
live.
like if you go to school and you get a good job and you be good and you don't drink too much tequila, whatever it is, everything's
Right.
gonna work out perfectly, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
truth of the matter is we can't control what other people do.
Right.
And so I found myself in this position and I said, you know what? I don't know what the next steps are going to be, but I'm choosing me. And from that day to this, my life is it's a total rebuild. You know, and some people that really, really know me, they're like, sometimes they're amazed, and sometimes they say, well, I knew you would make it. And I was like, girl, I'm glad you knew because I didn't know. I didn't know I was
Right.
gonna make it.
Exactly.
But the millionaire midwife is about the fact that, hey, sometimes you have to start from rock bottom, but that's the best place to start. And
Mm.
rock bottom is sometimes a solid foundation because sometimes we're living our life on a lie and we're living our life on things that, you know, just may not be consistent. So the millionaire midwife is about you really rebuilding confidence in yourself, but also discipline to do what you have to do because I really find that discipline is the thing that really prohibits people from getting where they want to go. It's not the want to, it's not the will to, it's that I am not every day purposefully doing what I say I'm going to do.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And I love it because even just you speaking those words, that's enough to just show that you are true up to your mission of birthing millionaires, right? Because if you just take what you just said and utilize that, you're on your step. You're on the right way. You're on the right path of being able to achieve and do just that. I mean, I felt motivated and inspired just from that because it is true a lot of times, and I'm going to be honest, put myself out there, the issue for me has always been being consistent, right? Being consistent about it. Sometimes we hear a no and we, instead of looking for the next opportunity, we don't look for the next opportunity. We just give up there because we think, oh, I ran into a no, that's like a brick wall, so maybe that wasn't a good idea, right?
Baby, give me that now. I'll be like, next. Come
Right.
on, let's go. And it's really about mindset. But listen, consistency equals cash. Now, I can't be the millionaire midwife and I give y'all the skinny about really what it takes to be prosperous. I can't tell you how many times I failed and how many businesses from slanging Mary Kay lipstick to selling insurance. Girl, back in college, I was selling Excel phone cards. You know, I had my Amway track. I had all of those things, right? And all of those things failed in a way, but it also pushed me forward. I learned a lesson, right? It was not a loss of time, it was gaining of a lesson. And every time I would look at people and the most successful people, I would notice that they had a routine and they had a certain amount of discipline about themselves. They had a morning routine that they followed, that they protected their time. And I began to say, if I really want to be successful, I need to live my life with intention on
Mhm.
purpose. On purpose, right? Because I always say consistency equals cash, intention equals income. Because if
Love
you're
it.
intentional about what you do and you value your time and you put a dollar amount to your time, you're not going to waste your time doing some of the things that you do.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, that is so true. I mean, and I was thinking about, you say being consistent and you thinking about that routine, people. So you studied people who are already where you want to be, or, people who are, successful in terms of already being financially that wealth, right?
Yeah,
So,
I'm a book junkie and I'm a watcher of people.
mhm.
Some people my mentor, they don't even know they my mentor, but I'm a watcher of people, and it was a very consistent trend. Very
Wow.
consistent trend.
Wow. I hear you rise early in the morning, and before you do anything, like before you make an appearance anywhere, that face is already beat.
Girl, let me tell you something about this face. And this face is imperfect. I've been wanting to fix something. So she's gonna give me permission to fix this. Because y'all be thinking you have to be perfect. I am imperfectly perfect, which
I love
means
it.
you get what you get, don't throw a fit. However, I do believe the way you step into the world has a lot to do with it. And this is not about vanity. This is about the fact that I'm going to respect myself enough to when I show up, when my feet hit the room, weight has hit the room. So
Yes.
it's one thing, if you want to walk in authority, guys, and I know that some of you are listening, you're entrepreneurs, or even in your family. If you want to walk in authority, if you want to walk in a certain sense of power, if you want to walk with a certain sense of purpose and intention, it starts with how you intentionally treat yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So before I had it all, or before I had a piece of it, I was very purposeful about making sure that when I stepped out, I took time to show my best self every day. That does not mean makeup. That means my best attitude. That
Mhm.
means, am I really carrying the Spirit of God with me today? Am I carrying the spirit of expectation? Because one of the prayers I pray in the morning, and me and my husband, we wake up around 4. We do our morning meeting around 4 a.m. And then I'm really alert in the morning. So that's when I do the bulk of my work between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. One of the things I say, God, I'm expecting you to send me blessings today. Let me be prepared when the blessings come. So I don't want you to call and say, hey, can you be on the TV show? You saw me out there looking like this one day. Oh, you like, I don't really know what I'm going to get. I'm going to
Yes.
pass up.
Yes.
But how you show up every day either attracts people to you or it repels people from you. And not
Mm.
just this face. This is
Yes.
the easy face to mask.
Right.
It's the heart, your
Yes.
intention, your words. Do you take time and look people in their eye?
Yeah.
Do you call people back? Are
Mhm.
you responsive when you mess up? Can you say I'm sorry when you make a mistake? That's also the face that I want to put on every day.
Awesome. You know, you're speaking truth there. And I say a lot of times on this platform, I've used that and I say, it's a heart matter, right? We don't have the heart anymore, right? And a lot of the time, we don't have that love for ourselves. So when we don't have a genuine love for ourselves, we can't love anybody else. And so I think that's so powerful for you to actually come on here and just reinforce what, has already been said. Right. So this is awesome. One of the things I did and looking because when my guests are coming on, I want to make sure I know the person, right? And so one of the things that I saw, I was looking at that you had on one of your pages. I think it was your LinkedIn, as a matter of fact, and it said, "Time is what we want most, but what we use worse." I
Yes.
mean, yeah, girl,
You
you
know,
have
we
some
always
good one up there. Oh,
they're like, girl, how do you do everything you do? Really by intention. We always say we don't have time for this and we don't have time for that, but we waste so much time. And I don't just mean time doing, because I do feel like you should spend time with people you love. So I'm just gonna, one of my things I always tell people, call somebody you've been thinking about. You don't know what that call will do for them. So that's my little hope message for today. Call somebody you've been thinking about. But yeah, we don't use our time wisely. And it's the one thing that we don't get back. And so my dad died really young. And I remember his funeral very vividly. And I remember people consistently coming up to me and say, "Oh, you look so much like your dad," and blah blah blah. And they would say, "Oh, your dad was so smart. He was so great. He was so talented." And I feel like a lot of his talent went to the grave. There were
wow.
so many things I would hear him say over the years that he wanted to do that he didn't do. And he was capable of doing those things.
Wow.
And I can remember as I got older, I said, I don't want to waste my time. He wasn't even 40 when he passed. And I would think, I don't want to waste my time. I want to make sure that the time I do have is used, you know, accomplishing what I want to accomplish. And even if I don't accomplish everything, they're going to say, now she did that. I mean, I
Yes,
did
for
everything.
sure.
But she did that, and that
Mhm,
includes my downtime. I
mhm.
travel. I travel the world. I do some crazy adventurous things. I love to zip line and to bungee jump. I like all that crazy stuff. Bring me near to death. I'm good. But it's about just living my life and not having any regrets.
Oh, I love that too, because one of the things I also saw that you had indicated, you said, I love my life. And since 2012, I threw the world's plan of success out the window and created a life I love. I think that's so important because I think we miss that sometimes. We're so busy chasing the ideal or what of the world instead of creating, right, our own happiness, right? Or creating a life that we genuinely love. Do you know how many people get up and go to work at a job that they absolutely hate, right? Or
Me. That was me. I mean, that was me. And I had people think I was crazy. You leaving your good job to go babysit
yes.
kids? I'm like, you have no understanding. So, I lost some friends behind some of my decisions because they just didn't understand, some of the moves I were making. To them, it was reckless. But it wasn't reckless. It was me choosing me. And a lot of times when people can't put you in a box, and they cannot contain you and they cannot control you, it
Right.
mirrors to them their inadequacies and their
Mm,
insecurities,
say
right?
that.
Because I won't, that 6-figure job, it was great. I can make 6 figures a week. Like, I don't need
Whoa.
6 figures a year when I can make 6 figures a week. So your idea
Yes.
of keeping your
Yeah.
idea of keeping yourself on a $50,000 job a year when you can make 50,000 a month, don't do it. So I learned not to let people box me in because it was easy for me to be a principal. It was easy for me to just be an assistant superintendent. Go ahead and get your superintendency. Be traditional. Get your teacher retirement. Live in
Mhm.
that box. And that box was suffocating me. So I threw the box away. I don't even know what a
And
box is.
I love, and you know what is so interesting that you say that because it's good for people to have an understanding, to know the difference, right? If that's you, if that's the lifestyle that you want to live, then by all means do it. Like you've indicated, do whatever you feel is your purpose. Do it big. If that's your thing to become the superintendent of a school system, for you to work on a job and go to your next level, that's fine. We're not knocking that. We just know that there was something different that says this isn't the way that I want to do it, right? I feel like there's more out there for me because I did the same thing too. I went backwards and then I got a job and it was like good money and everybody is saying, why would you not keep it? It's a good job and I don't want to, but I'm sitting there thinking, but it's so inflexible. And then when I do the math and then I add up and it's like, but this doesn't even make sense to me. I'm making $35 an hour, but when I can do so much more, I can do an assessment and then I can make several $100s in doing an assessment in 1 hour as opposed to being on a job where, and again, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that for me, that was my aha moment, and that that there's more out there for me. Everybody's path is different and
Yeah.
everybody's design is different, so I'm not knocking that if that's what you choose to do, but I want to encourage those people that may be on the fence and thinking that I may not be able to do, when in fact you're looking
You
at someone
can.
who said, hey, I once lived in a car and I think I saw you somewhere say you had $12 and that was what you had, $12 and a
You
dream
did good
living in your
research.
car.
Good
Yes, I did.
research. And this is the thing, guys, risk is a muscle. So the more you take risk and you figure out you didn't die, you'll be able to take a bigger risk, and a bigger risk is a muscle. So this is the activity that I do when I really want to do something. I say, well, what's the worst that can happen? Well,
Mm,
you won't have enough money to do this. Well, I ain't had enough money to do stuff before. And what did
right.
I do? Well, I did this, and this. Oh, okay. Well, people are going to be upset with you. Well, is it people like my children or is it people like the public? And how is that going to affect me? So when I go, what's the worst that can happen? One of the reasons why I would not leave my job is because of insurance. I
Yes.
had a special needs daughter and I felt like I needed insurance. I was like, but how much insurance costs if I'm not on a job? Oh, $600 a month. What? I've been putting myself in prison for $600 a month. And then affordable health care came out and I was like, balling. Like, okay, I get insurance for $100 a month. And
Right.
so all of the obstacles that you see, guys, if you're trying to make a decision, investigate how you can go ahead and debunk that obstacle. What was the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
And if you're willing to take that risk and start slow, one risk at a time, and after a while, you're gonna be like,
That muscle is
I'm a champion at
yeah.
taking risks, calculated risks, not being reckless, because that's different.
There is a big difference. Oh my God. Brandy, you are a true mastermind. And I love these conversations. I tell you what, when we get into the conversation, time just seems to go so fast. But you are a true mastermind. Now, I know you are a member of the mastermind group, but you are a true mastermind. And this is the reason why I say you are a true mastermind. Well, first of all, I just said it. You went off $12 and you made things happen. You built a child care industry. Basically, you have, the Imagine Me Academies, and they're in multiple locations now. You have a program, a mentoring program where you help, people do this. I mean, you are a true boss lady. You are truly a winning only woman. But this is the thing. In my research on you, I found this interview that you were doing with Lamar Tyler. Oh,
Okay.
we love Lamar, right? Honey, this can't be nothing but a mastermind move. You did this in 6 hours. $42,000 in expenses. You basically got rid of $42,000, and it really was in excess. You really got rid of more of that $42,000 in 6 hours. Oh my goodness.
Do you want to know about that story?
Yes.
So, during the pandemic, it was like, baby, pivot or perish. And we began to think about ways that we could control our income and protect our empire. Because I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm about to give up. Because the Bible already say, let no plague come nigh thee. Okay, I need this to go away. But we began to get on the phone and call people and say, hey, what can you do for us? Can you remove this? Can you defer this? What can you do? And we began to use our creativity in our finances. I did that when I bought my first building. We bought $1 million in real estate. Wow. With literally hardly no money in the bank. And I was like, listen, I don't have the money for this building, but I got a word and I got a business. And you can turn this business upside down, but you're going to consider me lendable because God said I'm lendable. And he said I'm bankable. So right. You going to come on with the come on. So I'm telling you guys, creativity in business and creativity in your life, get out of that box. That box will tell you that you got to go from point A to B. But I will tell you, you can go to point A to point Z. It's called a quantum leap. And when you get in your spirit and in your mind and you can tell your subconscious, I don't have to go from point A to B, begin to expect the quantum leap. Begin to expect the $42,000 debt removal. Begin to expect for your student loans to be forgiven. Begin to expect that $1 million year because it's possible. It's possible. But you have to have the expectation that it can happen for you. So many people believe in God and many people believe that good things happen. But for some reason, they don't believe good things can happen to them. Wow. And they don't believe that God said it for them. But I come to tell you today it's for you.
Woo-wee. And I'm talking about that was definitely a wow moment right there, right? It's been wow moments all throughout, but that was definitely a wow moment. I just thank you so much for coming on here, for taking time out of your schedule. Is there anything else that you want to share with our viewers before we get out of here? How they can find you, how they can connect with you, how they can see what's going on with the millionaire, with the midwife millionaire?
Yes. So on Instagram, I'm Brandy.Woods 1908. If you put in Brandy Woods with a Y, I'm going to come up. Same thing on Facebook. You can find all of my books on Amazon under Brandy Woods. We have several books, planners, and journals. But if you really want to meet me, and especially if you're in the childcare industry, I will be hosting my Millionaires Conference in May 12th through the 15th. If you look on any of those platforms, you can get all the information. And if you're a TSP fan, I will definitely be hosting TSP Live with my big brother, Mr. Lamar Tyler.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much for coming on here and for sharing words of wisdom, words to encourage, inspire, and to motivate. This is what WOW is all about, guys. So you've heard it right here. You've seen Mrs. Brandy Woods-Smith right here on Wow Wish Only Well television show. This is all our time for the day, guys. We hope that we've said something that will get you up out of off the couch, get running in your spirit so that you can go to your next level of greatness. And until next time, guys, we will see you next Wednesday with our final winning only woman as we close out our celebrations of Women History Month. Until next time, goodbye. And don't forget to wow
Thanks for
someone.
the
And by
invitation.
wow, I mean to wish only well all across the world. Goodbye.